guys, BSP Wrestler here. Just a real quick video. I'm just going to run down my personal favourite top 10 tag teams of all time, as voted by me. They're not in any particular order, but you know, my favourites are kind of weighted near the end. So I'll just jump straight into it. I don't have too much time for this one. My number 10 pick would be the New Age Outlaws. I thought they were really great in the height of their sort of fame. Everything from the way they worked together in the ring to their ring entrance, where Road Dogg would be on the mic as they come down. I was happy to see them kind of inducted, I guess you could say, into DX. I thought it was a really good move on WWE's part to do that. So New Age Outlaws would be number 10. I'm not going to be talking about specific matches in this video. A, it will take too long, and B, there's probably going to be way too many great matches that I'll probably miss talking about other great matches. So you guys let me know your thoughts on your favourite matches with this list I have now, and let me know your top 10 tag teams of all time. Number 9 on my list would be the Harlem Heat, back in the WCW glory days. I thought these guys carried the tag team division for a long while in WCW. Whenever they were on, I never missed the Harlem Heat. I just thought that tag team was so far ahead at the time of what else was happening in WCW, and it's not hard to see why they were multiple champions. Harlem Heat, great tag team. It's a shame to see Stevie Ray not doing so much. I believe he retired a few years back now, but good to see Booker T still working the circuits. And I don't get TNA here, but I hear he did pretty well in TNA. So, yeah, Harlem Heat, number 9. Number 8 on my list, a sentimental favourite of mine, the Rockers, Marty Jannetty, and, of course, Shawn Michaels. This is back in the late 80s, early 90s. I think they worked together extremely well with some of the synchronized moves that they used to do. So you'd have Shawn and Marty on the top ropes, and they'd jump off at the same time, hit the same move on the opponent in the ring. It had never really been done. It may have been done, but not to the extent that they used it. I loved everything from their ring style, the fluoro 80s clothes that they had. At the time, it was cool, man. You got to give me a break on this one. And biggest shocker of all time for me when I was young watching wrestling was when Shawn Michaels super kicked Marty Jannetty on the Brutus Beefcake show. I was heartbroken, man, I've got to say. Anyway, moving right along from the Rockers, number 7 on my list, a tag team from the same kind of era, the Hart Foundation. Huge Bret Hart fan. I thought the fact that you had Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil together was I thought a really good tag team. You had Jim the Anvil, who was just this big, bulking guy, who's powerful, and he had a bit of speed to him, man, as well. I reckon he was pretty fast for his size. And of course you had the technical ability of Bret the Hitman Hart. Great tag team. So I'll move on from the Hart Foundation. Number 6, I have the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Still one of my favourite moments was when Nash and Hall were in the ring against Conan and Rey Mysterio. They beat Rey Mysterio and Conan, and Rey Mysterio had to unmask. I just thought, that they pulled that heel gimmick off of the heel turn, or whatever you want to call it. When they were the heels, they were such dicks with the characters they were portraying, and it made it so good to watch, because you just hated them for doing that to Rey. But that's why I watch it. That's why we watch wrestling. That's to sort of fuel those sorts of things. So the Outsiders, number 6. Number 5 for me, innovators of the tables, ladders and chairs matches with a couple of the other people I mentioned later on, Edge and Christian. Huge respect for those guys. Still probably this year my favourite pay-per-view match, well, maybe not my favourite pay-per-view match, but of TLC, my favourite match was definitely Shelton Benjamin versus Christian ladder match. Both worked very well in that, and you can see why, when they both had that sort of history, and Christian especially was very impressive for me in that ladder match. And then you look back at Extreme Rules, we had Edge versus Jeff Hardy. To me, that was the standout match of the night as well. So it proves that they still have, that drive and fire for those sorts of matches, even though it maybe overall it has been watered down a little bit now. So Edge and Christian, number 5. Number 4, the original DX. When they first came together, you had Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Sorry about that, guys. Triple H and Shawn Michaels together for the first sort of real time in DX. I'm talking, I don't even know what the year was, but the pay-per-view came out with the blue cover, Shawn Michaels' face on the front end, Degeneration X. Those days of DX, I think, would be my favourite. So, yep. So I am rushing through this, guys. I'm sorry, but DX would be my number 4. Sorry about that, guys. Just had a brain explosion. Number 3 on my list would have to be the Dudley Boys. They were huge guys, popularity-wise, and they were big guys, sort of build-wise. There were no spring chickens, let's say. And the way they pulled off some of those sort of more hardcore type matches, in the same vein as Edge and Christian, were really, really awesome to watch. Huge respect for what those guys do, and their tag team finishing maneuver, the 3D, is still my favourite finishing maneuver of all time. Number 2 on my list, an old school favourite, Legion of Doom. Innovators of the Doomsday device, one of my favourite tag team maneuvers. I think those guys, and the record speaks for itself. Back in those days were really the glory days of the tag teams in WWF, as it was then, and they put on some great matches. I had the spikes and the shoulder pads as a kid. Huge fan of Legion of Doom. Number 1 in my book would have to be the Hardys. The way that they put themselves on the line in the early days, especially when they were first on the scene as a tag team with Team Extreme, I think they blew a lot of people away with what they did, and just the drive and willingness to sort of succeed and get ahead in the business was second to none. So they would be my favourite tag team of all time at this point in time. A couple of other points. I'd like to see Zack Ryder drafted. I'll maybe make a little video on this a little bit later on. Just real quick, if there is a draft next year, I would like to see Zack Ryder drafted to SmackDown. And I'd like to see him team with Dolph Ziggler. This may sound a little bit strange, but both guys have that similar persona and personality. I think they would make a good tag team. They both have that arrogance and, cockiness. It would be cool to see those guys team together. And, I'd really like to see a tag team tournament come about where you've got some decent tag teams vying for that chance to face the tag team champions, so either World Tag Team or WWE Tag Team, or even Unified. I'm not a fan of the Unified thing. I still think there should be Tag Team Champions on Raw and Tag Team Champions on SmackDown, but there's just not the depth, I don't think, right now to be able to do that. Last but not least, I did mention in my last video the 2 new guys from ECW who are the tag team, undefeated right now. They've been friends forever. I didn't know their names at the time of the video. Sorry about that. Their names are Kalen Croft and Trent Beretta. I think those guys have got a huge future. I don't want to see them pushed too soon, but you never know with WWE and Vince McMahon what's going to happen. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to go and have a beer with my friends. It's about 3 o'clock on Christmas Eve. And you guys have a safe Merry Christmas. Comment, rate, do whatever you got to do. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys in the new year.